let's look at the workplace here. We have up at the top our menu, and that's called the application bar, kind of this whole area up here. So I do have a title, and I'm going to actually pull these off. So now they are floating rather than tabbed. And what I can also do is grab the corner here. You can see my cursor changes to a diagonal arrow, and I'm just going to slide them. I know that I can't see the whole thing right now. I'm going to share how we can alter that. But you can see I like my files floating. This is my title bar, tells me the title, tells me what view percent, tells me what color mode. This is RGB. This whole area, you know, we're talking about the application. Now our work area is right in here. You can see my cursor going around it. My tools. So tools are by default over on the left. You can change all of these around. All of these panels are floating and capable of being moved. I like to view my tools two up. Probably comes from, you know, the very first time I started using Photoshop way back. It was actually Photoshop version 2, which was sometime around 92, 93. This was all it came. And so I kind of, you know, I guess of habit, that's how I like it to look. But you can choose any way you'd like. The tools, getting to know them, you know, looking at their tooltip. If you rest your tool over top of, or your cursor over top of a tool, you're going to see a tooltip come up. Those are great to start to become familiar with. You're not going to learn them all overnight. You know, you'll start realizing in the next couple weeks that, gosh, I'm using this tool quite a bit. Maybe I should learn that tooltip, that shortcut key. For instance, the marquee tool, the rectangular marquee tool, is an M. I might remember that my type tool is a T. So there's some that are a little bit easier to remember because you're going to use them more. Now, some of the tools also have a dog ear. All right, so that will open up hiding tools or tools that are hidden underneath. And you know, when you select one, that'll become the top visible tool. Okay, so they do change these things around with different versions. So you kind of have to do a little exploring sometimes. Say, well, where'd they put that tool? But anyway, that's something just to start becoming familiar with. And like I said, sometimes we'll use some quick keys from our menu items up here as well. For instance, if I wanted to do a select all, Control A, that's on the PC. Remember, on a Mac, that would be Command. Okay, so we you know, just need to make sure you change that conversion if you're working from a Mac. All right, so the tools, remember, over on the left, and that actually it's called the tool panel. Now over on the right, we see a bunch of other panels, and I'm just going to share with you lightly about these. We're not going to talk in depth at this point with a lot of them. We're going to start you know, pinpointing few out. In fact, next week we talk about layers. But I wanted to share how you can view these in different ways. So actually you can collapse this all the way down to only having icons, which is a little tricky when you're not sure what in the world the icon stands for. I can expand it, okay, and I can collapse it, and I can actually stretch it so I get a name. So it's all customizable. The other thing we can do over here is this is called our panel dock, and I actually can drag these panels out, and I can have them float. I can have a lot of different views for these panels. Say I want this to be a small thumbnail instead. I can change the size of them. I could drag out, now there are more here, history, and I could snap that underneath and make my own panel dock if it'll do it. There it goes. All right, so I can move these things around. Now all of these panels are listed under window, as well as ones that we don't see at the moment. There are some that are hiding. So the check mark indicates the panels that are open and visible at the moment. Play around. You can't break this part because we have a wonderful little option to save workspaces. And a workspace is just the way that our interface looks. I see it here under Window and Workspace, and I also see it over here. It says Essentials. These are also workspaces. Painting. It'll show me my brushes and swatches, and things that are related to painting. Now, if I go back to Essentials, this is how I left it. This is what I was just playing in, and I left it. Guess what? Photoshop will pick up for you. It'll put things away for you. If I do reset, it puts everything back away, nice and neat. And I can also save my own workspaces. Say there's a, as you get going with Photoshop, you really like certain tools open, you like it arranged in a certain way, you might want to save that workspace.